In this video, I'm going to tell you how to access VIP programs that the banks are offering to their elite customers through a program called Rent a Rich Uncle. You've got to watch this video. Hey, it's Taimour Zaman from All Funds Global, previously known as Credit.ai. My organization helps successful businesses leverage their assets, their cash, their seminars, their credit, and so on to access capital that the banks are primarily offering to their elite customers. We can do this because of our relationships, volume of business we do with the banks, our expertise and experience. The capital our clients are getting helps them to build their business, grow their business, do project financing, and buy auxiliary businesses. Nothing that I'm going to give you in this video will be constituted as legal or financial advice. It's only designed for education and entertainment purposes. So friends, it's year 2000 and I decided to drink the champagne called invest in real estate. And boy, if you invest in real estate, are you going to retire and make money while you're sleeping? I found this beautiful triplex property in the middle of Toronto. It was already populated with tenants, cash flow positive, right beside the subway, and I decided this is my opportunity to buy my first income property. I only had one major issue, and I didn't have the money for the down payment. You know, in most places when you go, you put down the 20% down and the bank loans you the other 80%, and in my case, I didn't have the 20%. So I wrote a business case for my rich aunt and my mother, and I said, look, if you can help me with a down payment, here's how much money I can do based by the mortgage I'm going to get from the bank. I'm going to pay you back in like 10 years, and would you like to help me out? So decades after, we decided to look at how do we build a program for entrepreneurs, for vision-driven entrepreneurs who need access to capital to build businesses, grow their business, and we coined a name or phrase called Rent a Rich Uncle. Primarily how it works, it's just like what my rich aunt did at the time. We walk into your FDIC insured bank, we put up our money to buy currency deposits from your FDIC insured bank on two conditions. Condition one, our money nor the currency deposit that we're buying can be collateralized. Condition two, you the client should get the capital you're looking to get. Those are the two conditions. Imagine you're a real estate developer. You know that the more projects you can build, the more money you're going to make, the faster you're going to retire, and the richer you're going to become. If you're a pharmaceutical CEO, the more funding you have, the more innovation you can take to a marketplace, the faster you can retire, the more capital or the more profits you're going to have. If you are a CEO of a technology company, the more money you have, the more products you can take to the market, the faster you can help your company go wherever you want to go to, and the faster you get to where you want to go to. Some of the frequently asked questions I get from entrepreneurs. So with over 3,300 transactions that we've done with our associates, some of the frequently asked questions I get is, Taimour, we want to do Rent a Rich Uncle, how do we find the bank? The first thing I would do is I would look for small, mid-sized banks that need my capital. You don't want to target the big banks. The Bank of America, the Wells Fargo's of the world are making already billions and trillions of dollars. They don't need a guy like Taimour Zaman from All Funds Global to come in to buy currency deposits from them. But the small community bank, the small trust bank that's FDIC insured needs my capital. The more capital they can get in, the more loans they can do. So you want to talk to small local banks in the area that you want to acquire business, in the area you want to acquire land, in the area you want to grow business on. Because that banker would know the geography, would know the business environment, and that's where you would want to start with it. When you go into a lender, primarily they're looking for two things. A is your resume. Are you a taxi driver who's looking for $20 million so you can compete with Facebook? If that's the case, then probably the banker doesn't want to do the deal. Or are you a successful real estate investor? You've deployed $3 million of your own capital, you need another $2 million to finish your project. Now you have the resume, you have the experience, you have the project that you need compared to the taxi driver analogy that I gave you. The second thing that a bank will look for is what's the geography. It's going to be really hard for a bank in New York to fund a project in Venezuela or Colombia. If you default, they can't go down there to collect. It will be hard for a bank in New York to understand the market of Texas as a comparison. So you want to find a local bank in the geography that you want to go to. You want to make sure you have a resume that speaks to a project and why you are a good bet to bet on. You want to make sure you have collateral, because remember, my money cannot be collateralized. So those are some ways of helping how to go find a bank. The second question, I guess, Taimour, when we found for lender, what did we tell them? And here's the script that I use for myself. Hey, Mr. Banker, I've got a profitable project to do. On condition that I have a partner that's going to come in and buy courtesy deposits. Now remember, the partner's all funds global. Under condition that we have a partner that's going to come and buy courtesy deposits from you today, how much do they need to buy jumbo CDs from for you to do the deal today? That's pretty much the question. If you've got a good business plan, you've got the resume, you fit in the criteria, what we're doing is we're sweetening the deal by saying, hey, here's what we want to do. What we want to offer you is to buy jumbo CDs for you to get the transaction done. Another question, I guess, Taimour, what happens in the back end? How does the back end work? And here's what I'm going to tell you. Imagine that you qualify for $3 million, but what you really need is $5 million. So what you do is you go to your bank, you say, hey, Mr. Banker, I have a partner called All Funds Global. They want to buy courtesy deposits from you today, and conditions that their money, their receipts can be collateralized. How much money do they need to put up today for you to give me the $5 million I'm looking for? The underwriter will do his underwriting. I'm going to say, if All Funds Global puts up $5.5 million today, we will loan you the $5 million you're looking for. So what happens is that when we deposit the $5.5 million, the bank loans the client the $5 million, but they keep the spread of $500,000. They loan that $500,000 to their new customers with interest. Do you know what happens with the entire $5.5 million, including the $5 million they give you? It comes back to the bank. You know what the bank does? They loan it out again and again and again with interest, and they make millions and millions and millions of dollars on that $5.5 million that we deposited. Now, let me tell you what really happens behind the scenes. And please fact check anything I tell you. When I deposit $5.5 million into your bank, the central bank gives the bank a line of credit of 10 times multiples, usually 10 times multiples. That means the CEO of the bank gets a line of credit for $55 million because I deposited $5.5 million. Now you're borrowing $5 million from them, awesome, so you got your $5 million, they loan you $5 million. And let's say, God forbid, COVID hits. Your business gets impacted by COVID and now you cannot make the mortgage payments. The bank comes and takes over the asset that you bought for $5 million, and let's just assume it's now worth $6 million. That $6 million, when they take it over, they get another line of credit from the central bank for that $6 million asset they took in for $60 million. So on a $5.5 million I deposit, they got a $55 million line of credit that they get to loan out. And if you, God forbid, default, and they take your asset of $6 million, they get another $60 million line of credit on top of that too. So it's very profitable for the banks to participate in a transaction when a rich uncle walks into the bank, deposits money, it completely changes the cash flow, it completely changes the formula that the underwriter of the bank writes when it comes to giving you the loan. So the next question, I guess, Taimour, what is the fees and what's the process? Our fees are one-time 7%, not the amount of money you get, but the amount of money we have to put up. So if you're looking for $5 million and your bank says that we have to put up $5.5 million, that means the amount of money that we get paid is 7% of the $5.5 million, not on the $5 million. And it's a one-time fee. So your total cost is our 7% of the $5.5 million plus whatever your bank charges you on an interest payment every year for the duration that you have your loan for. For the next question, I guess, Taimour, how long can I have the loan for? What's the total cost of my capital? Those are the questions you need to ask your underwriter. They will be able to tell you, how long you can have the loan for. Typically, if your loan is for 5 years, they expect me to put up our courtesy deposits for 5 years with them. If your loan is for 40 years, they expect us to put up 44 RCDs in a bank for 40 years. Now, I'll tell you how the process works. Once you've identified the bank, you contact us and you say, hey, I found the bank. Here's the bank, here's the banker's information. We contact the bank to make sure our capital is not collateralized. We have to, by law, if we don't have an account with that bank, open our account, the bank has to do a KYC on us, the bank has to do a proof of funds, source of funds for us to make sure our fund is clean, not of terrorism origin or drug origin, and that's how they accept the money into it. Now, Before I walk into your bank to put up $5.5 million, I need to make sure our 7% is secure. So what you need to do is to, once you've contacted us with the banking information, you need to put your 7% into your law firm's escrow account. Your law firm contacts us and says, hey, I have this 7%, we're ready to go. Once we have confirmation of our fees are covered, we walk in and we have to make sure that the bank is not using our money as collateral. When we go in, we put up our money, we buy the first deposits, we demonstrate to your lawyer that we've provided the funds, and we ask for our fees to be released. So the next question is, Taimour, what are the common mistakes people do? Some of the biggest mistakes people do is when they go to a bank and say, here's the deal, they don't clarify with the banker that our money is not collateralized. So when I call the bank, when I give a contract to a client and the bank, hey, you have to sign here that our money is not collateralized, that's where the deal falls apart. Listen, we've done this over 3,300 times with our associate, and I'm telling you, you want to make sure that the banker, the lender is crystal clear that our money cannot be collateralized. Another area where this falls apart is when the client goes and arranges this with a bank, but they don't put it in what's called an FDIC insured bank. They put in a private account or private banking. So if I'm going to do this transaction with a bank, I'll just use Wells Fargo as an example. It can't be the private wealth division of Wells Fargo. It has to be the retail banking, because that's the part that's FDIC insured. Because as a person is putting the capital, our facility putting the capital, I want to make sure that our capital is secure, and it has to be an FDIC insured or CHMC insured bank account or bank that we're depositing money in. Last question, I guess, Taimour, how do we get started? My recommendation is to book a consultation call with us. Let us know that you want to participate in Rent to Rich On Call. Give us a copy of your business plan, fill up our paperwork. Then you don't have to go find the bank. Once you've identified the bank, contact us and say, hey, I want to have another call. I found the bank, we're ready to go. This is how much money you need to put up. We'll then send you all the paperwork we need to send you. We'll then contact the bank to make sure our money is not collateralized, not at risk. We get the paperwork from the bank. Then we're looking for proof of funds from your law firm. And once everything's done, we'll go and execute, put up our money up, demonstrate that we put up our money. We ask for our fees to be released, while at the same time the bank gives you the line of credit loan you're looking for. My name is Taimour Zaman from All Funds Global. On behalf of my team and I, we look forward to the opportunity of serving you.
Yes, so I would like to first say thank you, because you have made a very big difference. I think I spoke to you when you started it a few years ago, and I've been a big fan. I've been following you, and you have made a very big difference for entrepreneurs like us, who had tried different programs, invested a lot of money. So you are very, honestly, a blessing. And I really pray that God keep giving you that strength to keep guiding people in doing successful business and everything like that. So that's what I wanted to say to start.
Hi friends, I now want to take a minute and answer some of your frequently asked questions. One of the common questions I get a lot is, Taimour, we've learned a lot from you through your YouTube channel. How do we learn more? Can we fly down and meet your team? And the answer to all of that is yes, yes, and yes. If you want to learn more, my first invitation is to become a member of All Funds Global. You simply go to our website, allfundsglobal.com. You sign up to become a member for free. You get access to webinars, offshore events that we do, and content that we never, ever, ever, ever publish on YouTube. I promise you that it's worth becoming a member for sure. The second way that you can learn a lot is I'm a published author. Structured Financing, Demystified, Hypergrowth, just multiple books on Amazon that you can get access to. I highly recommend going and checking out some of these books, getting engaged into some of the stuff, that strategies and tactics that we're using for ourselves, for our families, for our friends. You definitely want to check these things out for sure. Another question, I guess, Taimour, why are you so passionate about getting a bank license? Why is that so important? Well, the truth is, our mission within All Funds Global is to help businesses become self-funded for life. Imagine you run a coffee shop and I run a coffee shop. Imagine we buy the coffee beans from the same grower and my coffee shop is right across yours, like really right across yours. Our competition is probably nil. But if you have a bank license and I don't have a bank license, and let's say I made $500,000 and you made $500,000 in income. But if you have a bank license, you are depositing a bank license with the central bank of the country where you own your own private bank license. Let me repeat this again. You are depositing your money with the central bank of the country you have your bank license on. So $500,000 deposited with the central bank should give you a line of credit of 10 times multiples. So that means you get a line of credit of $5 million. Now it's not free money, it's a line of credit of $5 million. Now, if you draw that entire money out and you go to whichever country you're currently resonating in, the country you're doing business with, and you know in real estate, you want to buy a house, you put 20% down and you get a loan for 80%, same thing. You put $5 million down with a business plan to your local bank, whoever your bank with, and say, hey, I want to grow my business, my technology business, real estate business, pharmaceutical business, whatever business it is. I'm a venture capitalist. I'm putting $5 million down. Your bank gives you a loan at four times more, so now you get a $20 million loan. Now it's not free money, it's $20 million loan. What can you afford to do with $20 million that I cannot afford to do with $500,000? Could you invest in artificial intelligence? Could you invest in hiring better people? Could you invest in advertising? Hell, with that amount of money, could you even buy auxiliary businesses or invest in auxiliary businesses? I say you can, and that's why we within All Funds Global are so passionate in helping clients become self-funded for life, and getting a private bank license is one of the vehicles that I am personally very passionate about helping clients on. Another question, I guess, Taimour, you charge a consultation fee. All Funds Global, the team charges a consultation fee. Why do you charge a consultation fee when you guys can make so much money on the back end? It somehow slows me down from taking a credit card and paying you money for it. Well, here's the truth. We offer our content, millions and millions of dollars worth of content complete for free on YouTube. We don't advertise as of the date of doing this video. We don't advertise on YouTube, Google, or we don't do any kind of advertising at all. And what we find is the volume of traffic that goes into YouTube attracts people that are tire kickers, people that are fraudsters, people that have mental health issues. When we charge a small consultation fee, this deters the hacker, the fraudster, the person who's shopping around, the tire kicker. It eliminates all that and allows me and my team to be on calls or meetings with customers we actually want to do business with. What a concept. Now comes, this is better. At the time of doing a transaction with a client, that fee they pay for a consultation call, we refund it. At the conclusion of us doing a transaction with a client, we refund 100% of all the monies that they paid on consultation fees. This allows us to work with people that are committed to working with us, are serious about working with us, are not tire kickers, are not people that are like, they don't know what banking 101 is, and they're there to waste our time and energy. Just eliminates that. And me and my team are very proud of doing that. Next question, I guess, Taimour, the alternative funding industry overall has a lot of fraudsters in it, has a lot of deep fake in it. What are you doing to protect us, protect yourself? So here's the answer to that. Any industry that has a lot of money by default attracts a lot of fraud. Let me say this again. Any industry that attracts a lot of money by default attracts a lot of fraud. I don't know who you bank with. If you bank with one of the top 20 banks in the world, pick a bank you bank with, or you use payment processing companies like PayPal, these companies see a lot of fraud every day, from fraudsters mimicking their website to mimicking their email addresses, and in cases like mine, once a year or twice a year, some idiot, excuse my language, decides to copy my picture on social media, tries to create a fake profile of me, and goes on social media selling scammy transactions. Now, we have the technology and the resources to catch that, usually within 72 hours of that happening, and then cause legal action against that fraudster. We have the financial resources, thank God, to do that today, but that's just the nature of this industry. So what we do to protect ourselves is we never solicit on social media anything, nor do we solicit in general. We offer a lot of educational materials, but we don't solicit. You'll never see me or any of my associates on any social media trying to sell anything, ever. Second, all transactions that we do, money always has to go through a reputable law firm. All transactions we do, money always has to go to a reputable law firm. We never ask the client to send us money or anything like that. Now, I do want to take a minute and talk a little bit about my competitors. In the United States, in the US alone, US has 3% of the world's population, and they have over 60% of the world's lawyers. In the United States, that's a fact, have 3% of the world's population and over 60% of the world's lawyers. I have a lot of legitimate competitors in the United States and around the world that unfortunately have been sued for wrongful things that other people have done. There's a lot of negative stuff on social media or websites about some of my legitimate competitors. And I want to tell you that a lot of my competitors are legitimate. They're hardworking people. I know them. They deliver real results. And unfortunately, they have negative comments or fraud or even lawsuits against them. The reason within All Funds Global doesn't have a lawsuit against it, or me, Taimour Zaman, don't have a lawsuit against me, or people on social media saying that we're fraudsters or something like that, is simply because of my lack of vision. Every company you deal with, every major company you deal with, whether it's the cars you drive, Ford, Lexus, I don't know, GM, or Facebook, Google, YouTube, whatever you use, or medicine you have, like Taimour, all of these companies have lawsuits against them. A lot of the companies you work with have litigations against them. It's just part of the growth. At some point, the business needs to grow exponentially, and that's when you have to see lawsuits as just the nature of the business growing. The fact that we don't have it is because of my lack of vision as the CEO and like trying to bark a tree like that. Now, I see that changing as we buy businesses that have other CEOs, as we grow. We have over 800 registered brokers with us. As that number grows, it's not normal for our business to continue growing without some idiot calling us fraudster, some idiot trying to sue us, or something like that. If you want to take advantage of the alternative funding industry, I'm going to tell you this is the industry I love. I'm going to tell you this is the industry that I've made a lot of money with. I'm going to tell you this is the industry I've helped a lot of clients make a lot of money with, friends and family make a lot of money with. And if this is an industry you want to get involved in, I recommend meeting the people you want to do business with, like physically flying out to meeting them. If you can afford to hire an investigator, we use a lot of former FBI, former CIA people. These are people you can hire to do background checks. It's not only do these people have lawsuits or not, or other losers calling them fraudsters or not. I'm telling you, a lot of my competitors are really good people, and they're not fraudsters. So do your own due diligence, listen to your intuition. We're really interested in working with some really good people that are vision-driven entrepreneurs that really want to serve the world, and I think we have some things that are really amazing to offer. Another question I get is, Taimour, we love all the services of Funds Global. What are the top 3 services you offer that we should really seriously think about, call you or your organization and get you guys involved? But my favorite service, the one that makes a lot of sense, is the trusted advisory service. This is when we become your chief banking officer. We work with your CFO, your legal team, the CEO, the COO. We look at where your organization is, where you want it to be. We look at banking programs that make sense for your type of business, that are proven and would work to generate access to alternative revenue sources for your business that makes sense. From that, we then create offshore tax structures, offshore bank accounts, offshore bank licenses for your organization, so the revenue that gets generated has a channel to go to that is well protected. We have a lot of domain expertise that I do not share ever on YouTube. It's not like a lawyer who's like, go create a trust account and cooks out it. Like we don't do. We do some very sophisticated stuff that I'm very proud of. That's our intellectual property. And so the trusted advisory services, where we become a trusted advisor, is one of the things that I would recommend everybody to look at. It's a monthly retainer, you pay for it, but let me tell you, for every penny you put in, that you get tens of dollars out of it. And I think you're not going to get this amount of expertise dedicated to your business. So that's something I would recommend you to think about and sign up for. Second one is if you're looking for access to capital, we have a lot of unique programs like Rent a Rich Uncle that we can support your organization as long as your organization is a successful business and not a startup, not somebody who's going bankrupt. It's a successful business that has real cash, real assets, and is generating something real, that's real growth. I think we have some avenues for accessing capital that others simply cannot offer. And the final one that I love is we have a lot of asset management structures that are very unique to our intellectual property that I love to share with you. If you have assets, you want to grow, you want to get bank license, you want to set up a trust, you want to work with multiple central banks, do some really cool stuff. I think I'm the only weirdest person that has real expertise and experience in doing this stuff. And so my name is Taimour Zaman from Alphonse Global. Thank you for following us up on YouTube. If you're doing that, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for trusting my team. And on behalf of my team, I just really want to say thank you. And we look forward to the opportunity of serving you.